Hello everyone, welcome back to EurScope. Today we're diving into a topic that has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons: Oakland, California. You see, Oakland is a city of contradictions. On one hand, it's a place with a rich history, a vibrant art scene, and stunning natural beauty, but on the other hand, well, let's just say Oakland has fallen on some hard times recently. Once a vibrant and thriving city, Oakland has been grappling with a series of challenges that have left its residents concerned about its future. In this video, we'll explore the 10 main issues currently affecting Oakland and how they have contributed to the city's struggles. Let's get started. Oakland's economic woes are not your run-of-the-mill recession blues. This is a city grappling with a 28.8% downtown office vacancy rate. That's right, over a quarter of downtown Oakland is just empty offices, gathering dust bunnies and the occasional tumbleweed, and it's not just office spaces. Businesses are shutting down left and right. Remember that charming little bookstore on the corner? Gone. That family-owned restaurant with the killer burritos? Out of business. The pandemic accelerated existing economic trends, pushing businesses that were already struggling over the edge. As businesses shut down and people lost their jobs, the city's revenue streams dried up, leaving Oakland with a budget deficit. The city is now faced with the unenviable task of trying to balance its books while simultaneously addressing a multitude of other pressing issues. It's a classic catch-22, and unfortunately, it's the residents of Oakland who are caught in the middle. Let's talk about housing, or rather, the lack thereof. The median home price in Oakland is now over $752,000, and don't even get me started on rent. Living costs in Oakland are a staggering 44% higher than the national average. This affordability crisis is driving residents out of Oakland in droves. Families are being priced out of their homes, forced to leave the communities they've known and loved for years. It's a heartbreaking exodus, and it's tearing at the very fabric of Oakland's social tapestry. The city is losing its diversity, its character, its soul. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck, and you can't help but feel powerless to stop it. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the crime wave sweeping through Oakland. Between 2022 and 2023, Oakland experienced a double-digit increase in robberies, carjackings, and burglaries. It's like the city's gone from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas to Grand Theft Auto Oakland in the blink of an eye. These crimes represent real people, real victims whose lives have been turned upside down by violence and fear. Imagine walking down the street, constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering if you're going to be the next target. The city consistently ranks among the most dangerous in the US, a statistic that should make everyone sit up and take notice. This isn't just a local problem, it's a national disgrace. It's a stark reminder of the deep-seated inequalities and systemic failures that plague our society. And until we address these root causes, the cycle of violence will continue to spin out of control. Now let's talk about a problem that's impossible to ignore in Oakland: homelessness. Since 2015, Oakland has seen a staggering 131% increase in homelessness. And the numbers are even more alarming when you consider that Oakland accounts for half of Alameda County's entire homeless population. It's a humanitarian crisis unfolding right before our eyes. The city has thrown money at the problem, spending a whopping $70 million on housing programs over the past 3 years. But despite these efforts, the problem persists. The reasons behind this crisis are complex and multifaceted, stemming from a toxic cocktail of poverty, mental health issues, addiction, and a lack of affordable housing. It's like trying to put out a raging inferno with a garden hose. It's simply not enough. And until we address these root causes, the problem will only continue to grow. It's a stark reminder of the deep-seated inequalities and systemic failures that plague our society. Let's be honest, folks, Oakland's problems aren't helped by the city's ongoing battle with drug abuse. Methamphetamine and opioid abuse, in particular, have ravaged the city, especially among the homeless population. Drug-related deaths have skyrocketed in Oakland, a grim statistic that reflects the human cost of this epidemic. The city has tried to combat this crisis, but progress has been slow and often feels like a band-aid on a gaping wound. Treatment centers are overwhelmed, resources are stretched thin, and the stigma surrounding addiction prevents many from seeking help. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but one thing is clear: we can't afford to turn a blind eye to this human tragedy any longer. It's a stark reminder of the deep-seated inequalities and systemic failures that plague our society. Now let's talk about something that keeps Oakland residents up at night: the state of public safety. The Oakland Police Department, once a symbol of law and order, is now a shell of its former self. The department is grappling with a severe shortage of officers, leaving the remaining officers overworked, demoralized, and frankly, spread too thin. And if that wasn't bad enough, the department has been plagued by a revolving door of leadership, with chiefs coming and going faster than you can say early retirement. This lack of stable leadership has created chaos and confusion within the ranks, further eroding public trust in the department. The result? A city on edge, where residents feel unsafe in their own neighborhoods. Now let's turn our attention to a topic that's crucial to any city's future education. Unfortunately, Oakland's public education system is in a state of crisis. The school district has been grappling with chronic underfunding for years, leaving schools struggling to provide even the most basic resources for their students. This lack of funding has resulted in overcrowded classrooms, outdated textbooks, and a shortage of qualified teachers. It's no wonder that many families are choosing to send their children to private schools, or if they can afford it, move to neighboring districts with better funded schools. This exodus of students has further exacerbated the problems within the Oakland school district, creating a vicious cycle of decline. Now, let's talk about the curious case of Oakland's urban development, or rather the lack thereof in many parts of the city. While some areas of Oakland have seen an influx of new developments, trendy restaurants, and hip coffee shops, much of the city remains blighted by aging infrastructure and abandoned properties. This uneven development has only deepened the divide between the haves and the have-nots in Oakland. While some neighborhoods enjoy the benefits of gentrification, others are left behind, struggling with poverty, crime, and a lack of opportunity. It's a tale of two cities playing out on the streets of Oakland every single day. And the worst part? This uneven development is often driven by policies that prioritize profit over people, leaving entire communities feeling invisible and forgotten. Now, let's talk about something that affects everyone in Oakland, regardless of their zip code: the environment. Oakland is a city blessed with natural beauty, from its rolling hills to its sparkling waterfront. But this beauty is under threat from a multitude of environmental challenges. Air pollution is a major concern in Oakland, particularly in neighborhoods located near major freeways and industrial areas. The air quality is often so bad that it poses a serious health risk to residents, particularly children and the elderly. And as if that wasn't bad enough, Oakland is also on the front lines of climate change. Sea levels are rising, threatening to inundate the city's waterfront and displace thousands of residents. Now, let's talk about something that's harder to quantify, but just as important as any of the other issues we've discussed: the morale of Oakland's residents. A recent survey found that a staggering 63% of Oakland residents are unhappy with the performance of their elected officials. This dissatisfaction stems from a growing sense that the city's leaders are failing to address the myriad problems facing Oakland. Residents are tired of empty promises, tired of seeing their city crumble around them, and tired of feeling like they're being ignored. This crisis of faith in local government is a dangerous trend, as it breeds apathy, cynicism, and a sense of hopelessness. When people feel like their voices don't matter, they're less likely to engage in the political process, less likely to hold their leaders accountable, and less likely to believe that things can ever change. It's a recipe for stagnation and decline, and it's a trend that Oakland desperately needs to reverse. Oakland's challenges are undeniably complex and interconnected. While efforts are being made to address these issues, progress has been slow, leaving many to wonder what the future holds for this once thriving city. What do you think needs to be done to turn things around? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to EurScope for more insights from around the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.